welcome to the Projection Project. My name is Rain, and I have back with me for the millionth time, Olivia.
Hello.
And yet you still choose to introduce yourself like that. Hello. I think it's the same in every episode. Someone go back and please edit or add in all the hellos that Olivia's done.
I think it's always the same tone too.
Yeah, it's always hello. Wait, that was pretty good. Anyway, we're not here to mess around. I mean, we could, up to you guys. Anyway, wait, that sounded bad.
Okay,
never mind. Anyway, books. Anyway, we're here to talk about books. Woo! So if you're not into books, get out of here. What are you doing? Or you can listen to us talk about stuff you don't know. Up to you. Don't laugh at me.
Who said I was laughing?
You looked like you wanted to laugh. I don't think people realize that we actually stare at each other while we film this. But I just because we talk about sometimes episodes we're like, hey, I looked at you or I saw this in the background. So for anyone who's curious, we just film and we see each other. I always have cameras on, and most other people do unless their camera's broken or they don't have a camera. Just for funsies. Otherwise, it feels like we'd be on a call.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're not on a call. It's just a video call.
Video chat. Yeah, no. FaceTime. Anyway, books. Okay.
Sure, even more.
So we won't be talking about basic book talk books because I'm not into that. I mean, some of these are kind of popular on book talk or kind of talked about. No, because a book talk books are the Spanish Love, the Deception, the Honeymooners. It ends with us. They both die in the end. No.
Read any of those.
Yeah, and neither have I. So if you're super into book talk books, get out of here. We're not.
I've read quite a few book talk books, but I haven't read rom-coms. Yeah,
I don't like romance novels. I've obviously read a lot of books that has romance in them, but they wouldn't be classified as romance.
No, I read fantasy with romance.
Yeah, that's Olivia and I read the same genre of books.
Yeah,
but we've read really different books, which I think is funny. We make a whole of all the fantasy books. Yeah, so basically there's probably going to be a lot of fantasy book talk and maybe a splash of some other things. We'll see.
Yes,
we'll see. Oh wait, I think a lot of considered book talk books I've read have been fantasy recommendations.
I need to go. Yes. Fantasy.
Cheese touch. You say I almost got the cheese touch. Stop! I've actually never seen the Diary of Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I've never really been interested in it.
I watched the movies as a kid.
Also, I didn't really read the books.
I was not interested in the books.
Yeah. I've seen bits and clips. I think I don't know how many movies there are. Anyway, how did you have you always been into reading?
No. Actually, I used to just despise it up until these past 2 years. Literally Shift Talk came around and I was like, books. So then I started reading. Oh my god, this is actually fun. Before now, it was a chore, but now it's a fun time. How about you?
I actually think that before talking about myself, I actually think that school ruins reading for a lot of people because we read really boring as stuff that people don't want to read. But because my roommate wasn't my roommate in college didn't realize how fun reading and fanfics were until she's like, you make this own little world in your mind. I'm like, yes, that's what reading is supposed to be, not some stupid stuff about Romeo and Juliet.
Don't even get me started on Romeo and Juliet. Reading in school ruined it for me.
There's only been a couple books in school that I've truly liked, and we'll talk about that later, but I just wanted to talk about that. Anyway, I I actually grew up reading. I really liked reading. I it kind of as I got like in middle school, I read a lot of graphic novels. And I think Dork Diaries was the start of that. And I think Dork Diaries is actually still really popular. I actually got rid of my Dork Diary books not too long ago, but they were like still like really like they were in good shape. What oh they're still valuable. That's what I meant to say. They're still valuable. Um so yeah, I sold them anyway. And then I read like a couple other big graphic novels like Witch and like that Smile series of the girl. Like it's like a cover.
I was really just gonna ask you, did you read like the Smile like books?
Yes, I
Like,
did.
I don't know if they were in a series, I don't remember, but
There's at least two.
Yeah, I have them. But I was just gonna ask if you read them.
Yes,
I
read
thing
tons
I
of
liked.
graphic novels.
That was the one thing I was like, I actually like these.
I read another series, I think it was called Amulet or something related to that. That was really good. Um, but yeah, basically I've read a lot of graphic novels. And then I kind of transferred to like I was running out of stuff to read. So I asked my librarian in middle school for suggestions. And then I started moving on to like series and trilogies like that were fantasy. Oh, also I grew up reading the Percy Jackson books because I was one of those Greek mythology kids that I mean I think mythology is very interesting, but I was like, oh my god, yes, it's my life.
I
But
was when I was younger, but with astrology. Like that was all my mind was on. Like I made a whole presentation for class on it in 6th grade. I'm pretty sure.
I did like something super similar to that, but it was like way more embarrassing. You want to know why? It's because I'm exposing myself here. In fifth grade, I think it was, there was a science fair, and like not everyone had to participate, but I really wanted to. And I did like if astrology was like accurate, if people would pick choices based on their day. And I did a whole ass like science fair poster on it. I don't know why I did that. I
Why
was
not?
stupid as hell. I sleep on every night. I'm like, I really did that shit.
Actually, I used to like not want to read so much that so when I was younger, the school I went to, you had to pick out a library book. Like you had to have it for the 2 weeks, and then you'd get another one. Like the whole class would go to the library. I would check out the same book over and over
That's
again
genius.
and never read it. I would just always have that book and be like, oh yeah, I really like it. I had to read it again. What?
So good. I had to read it the 20th time.
The whole school year. I still love it.
I okay, going back to what I was saying about me. So I stopped reading for a little bit.
Back to what I was talking about,
Yeah, me. Well, I had more to the story. I have like a lot of times where I'm like, I read a lot and then I stopped for like a really long time because then my sophomore year of high school, I got back into reading. And I read like a good amount through sophomore and junior year. And then I kind of stopped senior year because I was so busy. And then Shift Talk came around, which is about 2 years, like a month, a couple months after I graduated. I graduated in 2020. And obviously it was like full of Harry Potter. So, and I wanted to read the Harry Potter books really badly, and my family has them. So I was like, yeah. So that's why I got back into reading again, was with Harry Potter. Harry Pooper.
Nice. I got into it with The Cruel Prince.
That is on my my TBR.
I bought the first Red Queen book, but then I was like, what is happening? So then I put it down, and then I bought The Cruel Prince, and then it took off from there.
I think Athena is currently reading that. She really likes it.
It was really good, the series, yeah.
Yeah, I want to read it really badly. I debated about buying it, but I bought the Six of Crows duology instead. Back whenever I went to Barnes and Noble over the summer.
Is it duology or is it duology?
I don't know. I say duology because it's duo.
I say duology. Trilogy,
duology. We're gonna look it up right now because I don't know. Unless I really don't know. I just say duology.
Duology.
Duology. I hate it. That makes it sound like a study. Yeah, I say duology. But it's going to become a trilogy, which I still need to finish the second book, but I already know spoilers, which is sad. But I already know that the third book is going to be just as sad as the second one.
Speaking of spoilers, not even joking. Okay, Sarah J. Maas. She has a book series, like the Crescent City series.
Is that the Throne of Glass one?
No, it's her third series.
Oh, is that the one you were just reading?
No, shut up. There's there's Throne of Glass, there's ACOTAR, and then there's Crescent City. So many spoilers on the second book in Crescent City that like I have not even on the first one. I haven't even finished ACOTAR, and I'm getting spoilers for that book series, which can. I'm literally so mad because literally everything. If you could see my face.
Is she shaking her head?
That I'm so upset.
I spoiled Crooked Kingdom for myself because I was looking up characters on Wikipedia, and that's how I spoil it for myself. If you've read the series, you already know what it is because I'm not going to spoil it. Especially if you are ever interested in reading it. But it made me really mad. I literally, you know how you get memories on Snapchat? A couple weeks ago, I got a memory for that, how I said that I'd spoil it for myself. And it was that was a week or two after Shadow and Bone had come out also. So I'm so mad at myself.
Not all spoilers are true because listen, there was this TikTok and it was a bunch of Throne of Glass characters. One that I already knew had died, but then there was another one listed and I was like, oh my God, does that mean they die too? And I was like, I just spoiled this for me. They didn't die, which is really nice. And also another spoiler thing on Pinterest, I was dumb and I looked up fan art as one does.
I accidentally opened your Pinterest account and I saw Throne of Glass and I was like, nice. Olivia's been caught.
Okay. But okay. I was looking up fan art for the Cruel Prince series and I saw something and I was like, oh my God, the end of the book series is spoiled for me. I don't want to read this anymore. So I just stopped reading it. But then I was like, you know what? I got to buckle in. I got to do this. So I did it and it was wrong. So don't trust everything you see. Moral of the story.
The one I read is definitely true.
Okay. Well, never mind.
So, because I've seen it off of fan art and other TikToks. And I'm like, good thing I already spoiled this for myself.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, what is your do you have a favorite series or favorite trilogy? I put trilogy and series in the same category.
Throne of Glass.
Yeah, I was like, you were obsessed with that, and all of a sudden you'd finish the book, and you're like, Rain, and you're crying. You're like, I just finished this book, and I'm like, what the hell is going on?
It's definitely my favorite series. At first, it was the From Blood and Ash series, but then Throne of Glass came in, and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. What's your favorite series, Ray?
My favorite, I have two favorite series. It's the Kane Chronicles. It's a trilogy. I've read it twice and I have the books. Love it so much. And then the Gamma Doyle trilogy. I really want to reread it badly, but I read it in high school and it was really good. The books, warning, if you read them, the books are 600 pages plus. So if you are not someone who can read long books, I'm so sorry. Then that series is not for you.
Yeah, then probably don't pick up Throne of Glass, the Throne of Glass series either, because it has 8 books, I believe.
Oh yeah, and you were reading 2 books at once.
Yeah, I did the tandem read. It's really fun.
I think I would read it like that. I would probably do the same thing as you if they're happening in real time.
Yeah, they were happening on the same timeline, so it made sense to read them together.
Yeah, I would.
You can look up. So.
Yeah, because I hate reading 2 books at once. I have to focus on what I'm reading, which is why I'm struggling to pick up From Blood and Ash. Listen, I'm in a small reading slump. I'm gonna get out of it. Yeah, I wanna read it because obviously it's on my TBR. I have so many series and trilogies that are in my TBR. I'm struggling to cook through them. Do you have a favorite standalone book?
Um, I haven't read many.
Yeah, I'm kind
being
of in
honest.
the same boat.
Um, I'm like looking at my bookshelf to see if anything stands out. Well, there's this book called Red, which was originally a Draco fanfic from Harry Potter, and basically the author took, because in the original fanfic there wasn't any magic. It was just they used the character names and stuff, and it was set at Hogwarts as like just a boarding school. It wasn't like a magic school or anything, so it was really easy to just change the character names and keep the story aspect because it didn't have anything to do with Harry Potter. So that's probably one of my favorite standalones.
I think I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah,
Whenever you read
it's
it,
really
'cause
good.
I remember I was like, you were telling me about the names and everything, and I was like, oh. My favorite standalone book is the book that I just recently finished. It's called The Atlas Six. It's eventually going to become a series, I think. But it's currently a standalone book. Really good. I was actually recommended to me on like TikTok. Like I saw a couple creators recommending it, and there's one account that I really like, and she recommended it, and I was like, you know what, I want to read it. Plus, the cover is so pretty. So, so yeah, the next
And you
book.
got the like I'm pretty sure that might have been like the self-published, or it was like the mega published edition.
Yeah, because I saw them at Walmart and they had different covers. First of all, it was hardcover and mine is paperback. Because I ordered mine on Amazon back in like October. So, but I didn't read it until now. If you want to know how fast I am at reading, the thing is, I can read fast because I finished once I like really got back into the kick of Atlas Six. I finished it in 2 days, but it just took a second to get back into the reading. Um, Otherwise, I haven't really read that many solo books that like I was like hooked on. The rest they were either like okay or they were good, but I don't know if I'd recommend it to someone. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you ever read a book that you didn't like?
Um. Well, none of like the ones that I chose to read, I didn't like. Like I liked all the books that I've chosen to read, but like the school books, 100% there are school books that I have not liked to read.
Oh
Want
yeah.
example?
Yeah, give me an example.
I did not like, let's see, Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, I can't stand most Shakespeare plays.
I thought it was boring, and I feel like everyone really has an understanding of the story to some extent. And
Yeah.
it was just not fun to read, and like, I don't know.
Plus, you watch like 17 movies of film adaptations of it afterwards, and I'm like, these
Exactly.
suck.
The only like nice thing was like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Wait, did you watch the old one or the new one? Because that one's the newer one.
The newer one.
I watched both. Don't really recommend either.
No, it wasn't good by any means. But yeah, I didn't like that book. I did not like The Alchemist. I didn't like that one.
I don't know. What
I
that
zoned
is.
out when I read that. Right now I'm reading Lord of the Flies in school and I'm really bored.
I never had to read that.
Yeah. It's not very fun. I'm literally only 15 pages in and I don't
I hear
not
about some of
into
the stuff that happens in that book based on like friends I had in high school and my sister, and I was like, this is wild.
it. Yeah, a lot of it's based on like the Bible.
Oh, really?
So
Maybe
like
that's why schools recommend it so much because they're like, we separate it, and then they're like, here's this book about the Bible.
like there's a lot of like references to like people in the Bible and characters and stuff. Characters. Characters in the Bible.
Wait, okay, this is super random because I just thought about this. Did you have to read a book in like middle school called The Hatchet?
Yes.
A video was made, a TikTok. I saw a TikTok that said that, and I was like, I forgot that I read this.
Yeah. Wait, Wait, what was your opinion on it?
I actually really don't remember it because we listened to like an audiobook. Like we listened to it in class. Like there was a person reading it. I literally don't remember how it ended, but I remember at the time thinking it was very boring.
Oh, I actually really liked it.
Can you explain to me what it was about again?
No, dude, I don't even remember that much, but all I know is this. I'm pretty sure it was a kid. He had a hatchet.
Duh.
Oh.
The end.
And then he like had to survive. And
Oh,
like it
it's
was
just
like
called Hatchet.
yeah, and there was like he had to survive and stuff. And I actually really enjoyed it.
There's 5 books in this series.
But I remember it being like super like gruesome, I think, in some parts.
Why does it have such high reviews? Okay, Hatchet is a young adult adventure novel about blah 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 survival following a plane crash. That's it. And then it's just him trying to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, the main themes in Hatchet are survival, nature, and family.
Yeah, it's like it talks about dehydration. This I'm like, okay. I remember reading another book. Sorry, that I wish I could remember what it was called. If anyone's out there and knows, please tell me. It was about um, it was like either a series or like a standalone, and it was about how kids are like by the government, which I think this came out around whenever China had the one child policy, and they're like you could only have I think you could only have like 2 kids and like by the government in this book. And if you had more than 2, they would take your children away. And then you would also be sent to jail. So a lot of these kids were like trying to fight against the government. I wish I could remember what it was called. It was actually really good. I think I read that in middle school also.
I might hang on.
You might know what I'm talking about.
It's okay. What came to mind was a movie, but it might have been a book. It's called What Happened to Monday.
Hang on, I'm gonna look it up.
It's a movie on Netflix, but it says in a world where families are allowed only one child due to overpopulation, resourceful identical septuplets must avoid governmental execution and dangerous infighting while investigating the disappearance of one of their own.
Well, the only reason I feel like this isn't is because it said in the book specifically, I think it was either 3 or 2 kids because they're like, what happens if you have twins?
That's the book.
Really? Hang on. I swear. They were like, well, what happens if you have twins? That's why it was. This may have been it. Wait, Willem Dafoe was in this?
Really?
I think this was maybe it, but I swear they were allowed because I remember multiple families, and I also remember them saying they could have twins, and like they were only allowed 2 kids. But it may have been that. I just don't remember.
I never read it.
I remember liking it though. Have you read any school books that you like have liked or plays or anything like that?
I liked Macbeth. I know we just talked about this like last night.
I know her and I was live and
don't say it.
Yeah, don't say Macbeth in the theater. Continue, sorry.
No, you're fine. I liked Macbeth. I kind of liked To Kill a Mockingbird. I mean, like, it was more interesting than Lord of the Flies. And it was way more interesting than Fahrenheit 451. So I'd say I enjoyed To Kill a Mockingbird and Macbeth. How about you?
I did not like To Kill a Mockingbird. Even though I told Olivia this a day ago, I told my teacher after we got done reading it that I hated it. And I was like, I get that it's important. I was like, but this book sucks. She's like, yeah, I thought the same thing whenever I was your age. I was like, good, glad I'm not the only one. I'm never gonna reread it again. I really just didn't like it. Oh, there are a couple plays. Okay, first I'm gonna talk about plays and then books that I did like. And one of them is a Shakespeare play. It's The Merry Wives of Windsor. I actually saw it at like, like those Shakespeare plays outside or whatever. Yeah. What are they called? Shakespeare in the Park. And we saw it live. It was actually very good. And Telltale Heart, it's by Edgar Allan Poe. His plays and like stuff are actually they're not, I don't think it's technically a play. I mean, it might be, but it's very good. I think it's like a dark story. I don't know. A lot of stuff by Edgar Allan Poe is actually very good. And there are like a couple other small snippet things I read, like The Monkey's Paw, which was the most jacked up thing I read in middle school. And the most jacked up thing I read in high school was called The Lottery. God, if you've read either of those, you you have my you have my whatever. I don't know. Those two things were so messed up.
Never
I'm not going
read
to talk about them in here, but if you're super curious, like just message me and I'll tell you what it's about. I'll tell you what it's about after this. You just have to remind me.
it.
I also liked The Crucible. It's also a movie, but the ending made me mad, but it was good. I liked it a lot. It's based off of the Salem witch trials for anyone curious. Oh wait, I
Did
was
you
going to talk. Sorry, continue. Ask me.
did you ever read The Five People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch
No.
Milburn, I believe? No. I didn't like it. I had to read it freshman year and it was not very fun.
I can't even remember. I feel like I didn't read many books in high school. We read like a book about my freshman year, which I was telling you. It was like a graphic novel about a Native American boy who was going to school, like who had transferred to like public school, or whatever. That book was good. Um, uh, okay. At the time, whenever I read it, I actually really liked 13 Reasons Why. As I got older, I don't like it anymore. I don't know why I liked it. It's very inaccurate, obviously. And then there's the show. The first season is really accurate to how it is in the books. But I think yeah, it does a terrible job of like showing anything like that. And I read it for health class. Like we got to stop having kids read that for health class.
I read, I think it's pronounced Mouse, Maus. It's one of the banned books nowadays. I read it literally last year for school.
I've never read that.
You never read it?
No, I don't. I think the only like Holocaust related book I think I read was The Book Thief. Nope. The Book Thief was actually, from what I remember, pretty good.
I've heard of that, I think. Like the name, like
It's a really popular book. You're in the POV of death, and death talks about characters that are, like they give you like I think like journal entries or something, or like talk about characters that need to die. It's very interesting. I wish I wish we're gonna look it up so I'm like correct, and then I'm gonna go back to books I read in high school. The Book Thief is a story narrated by a compassionate death who tells us about Liesel, a girl growing up in Germany during World War II. She steals books, learns to read, and finds comfort in the words. She and Max, the Jew her family protects. What? She and Max, the Jew her family protects, are the only main characters that survived the war. No, I hate that. But I remember it being pretty good. Okay. This is probably one of my favorite things I read in high school was actually Great Gatsby. I think almost every book, like every high school reads it. I actually really liked it. The film adaptation is good, beautiful scenery, bigger names like Leonardo DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire. And if you've read Great Gatsby, Nick is in love with Gatsby. Come on, guys, they're lovers. We know this.
Next year.
A memory I have from reading Great Gatsby was I sat next to a boy and we had to like show that we annotated the chapters we were supposed to read, and he just kept reusing the same sticky notes for the chapters, and the teacher would check. She's like, okay, good. She wouldn't even read them or anything, and he did that the whole time we read the book. It was kind of genius. The only other book that I really liked in high school was for a project. Actually, it's a trilogy. We got to pick what book we read based off like 6 books or whatever, and I read Scythe, and then the trilogy is called Arc of the Scythe, and I would recommend that to like anyone. It's a good series, and it goes Scythe, the Thunderhead, the Toll, and you get to meet so many characters. There's great representation in that in those books, by the way. And it's supposed to become a film soon, and I am so excited, and I hope they don't mess it up. that's it for like anything relating to school. Have you, so out of like any stuff that you've read that have come film adaptations, did you like all of them that you saw or that you've seen?
There's not many, if I'm being honest. Like I have Harry Potter, but I haven't read it, so I wouldn't know that comparison. And I have Twilight, but I haven't read past like half of the first Twilight book, so I can't really compare that. The only book that I can really compare is Romeo and Juliet, and we all know it sucks.
I I think I also only have a few. I've read, obviously I've talked about the Harry Potter books. I think I said this in one of the more recent episodes. I would recommend that you read the books if you have the time or would like to read them or really debating it. There's a lot of good details that are not in the movies. Um, Personally for me, I like how much in the books the classes are like talked about and what they're learning and other professors you don't get to hear about. And then there's little tiny scenes that are different or aren't in the films. You get to meet more characters also. Another one is Shadow and Bone. I've read the Grisha trilogy, which is what Shadow and Bone is based off of. Very excited for season 2. I've read Six of Crows, but I still need to finish Cricket Kingdom. Obviously, the Percy Jackson movies were not great, but the actors were perfect. But everything else was terrible. I'm so excited for that show to come out soon. And even though I know they're casting right now, but I'm very excited about it. What else is there? Okay, so I didn't read The Hunger Games, but my sister did, and my sister said that the books were worth the read and that the books were better.
I didn't even think of dystopian. I've read the first I've read the first Hunger Games book, and it was pretty good. But I think I'll always prefer the movies over the book in that.
I'm pretty sure she said she preferred the books. The movies do a great job. I really like the movies. We literally just talked about the Hunger Games in the last episode, but I'm even like not the biggest fan, but they're good. Like it's a good plot. There's like again like with all books and like movie adaptations, like there's little small details in the books that the movies can't do or won't touch on or don't have enough time or anything like that. You want to know a post I saw recently that was like if the Hunger Games were filming like now, Tom Holland 100% would have been Peeta, and I'm like, I hate that. That you're so right. He definitely would have been Peeta.
You would have been Peeta.
Oh no!
I think would have been Katniss.
Has to be like someone kind of young.
Okay, but I wouldn't have it any other way than the way it is.
Yeah, I like the actors, and they have pretty big names in that. In the series too. Woody Harrelson. What?
Is the guy who plays Haymitch?
Yeah, Woody Harrelson.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's in everything. He's also in Star Wars. He's also in Now You See Me. He's in a lot of stuff. Josh Hutcherson had a name before the Hunger Games. A J-Law, that was kind of like her first big thing, wasn't it?
What's his name?
Hemsworth.
The
guy who plays Finnick?
No.
Okay, then Hemsworth. Liam Hemsworth?
Liam? Is that the guy who I hate?
Gale?
I hate him.
He's Gale.
I hate him.
Yeah, he was also obviously the Hemsworth have a bigger name. I actually haven't seen him in anything else other than the Hunger Games. And they're like obviously the guy who plays Finnick is still a big actor. I don't know if he was like big before then. There are also a couple big names. Oh, Jeffrey Wright, we talked about a couple episodes ago. He's in the new Batman movie and he voices the Watcher. He's in the Hunger Games. He plays like that really smart guy in Catching Fire. He's like, if we do the electricity with the tree and like that thing. That's who he is.
Electricity with the tree.
And Elizabeth Banks. She plays Effie. And she is also in Pitch Perfect and stuff like that. Yeah, there are a lot of pretty big names in the Hunger Games. I think my sister read Twilight. I don't remember her opinions on the books versus the movies.
My My mom read Twilight and she prefers the books over the movies.
I always forget that Twilight is actually a book series because everyone just likes the film so much.
No, yeah. And I just saw this interview that with Kristen Stewart and she was like, Twilight was supposed to be like an indie film.
Yeah, that's why it's blue.
Like it wasn't supposed to be this, like they didn't expect to make a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Like that makes so much sense. But
Apparently there's the writer of Twilight made the Twilight series, made like a book or two based off of Edward's POV. And I wonder if it's good. I don't remember what it's called.
Stephanie Meyer released Midnight Sun, which is the first book in his POV.
There we go. I couldn't remember whatever it was called. But I found out about it and I was like, wait, really? I don't know if it'd be interesting because I don't actually think I've seen the first Twilight all the way through. I've seen all the other movies though. Part 2 is probably my favorite, Breaking Dawn Part 2.
And that's a good one.
But I see like both Breaking Dawns a lot. I've seen them a lot.
I like all of them. But like New Moon kind of has like a special place in my heart because when I was younger, I really, really loved Jacob, even though now I understand he's kind of manipulative, but like I loved him so much.
Yeah, I think most people who were Team Jacob back then were only didn't realize like he was such a shitty person. So now most people who were Team Jacob are definitely Team Edward.
Okay, if we're thinking logically, probably neither of them, because like Edward's kind of like stalker mode. Just a thought, but I would take either.
Thinking about the post where I put on Snapchat that I was like thinking about Carlisle Cullen, that's it. And someone swiped up. I'm not gonna say their name, but they're gonna know if they listen to this. Someone swiped up and said, "Someone has daddy issues." Get out of here right now. Get out of here.
Carlisle.
I was like that meme I sent you that my sister sent me. I was like thinking about how quiet Jasper is in New Moon, I think. I don't remember the whole meme, but I like lost it whenever I saw it and I sent it to you. Oh wait, we're talking about film adaptations. I was like, what were we talking about? I think Maze Runner is a book.
It is. It's a lot of books.
Yeah, I've never read them. And then Divergent, the whole thing was books.
Okay, can we all collectively agree that the first Divergent movie is the best one?
Really? I like the second one the most.
Really?
I like the first and the second ones are the only ones I like willingly watch.
Okay. Well.
I also just can't stand Tris. Like the plot of the second one is good in my opinion.
I mean, it's okay. Like I just prefer the first one.
Wait, is the woman who's like the bad guy Kate Winslet, who plays Rose in Titanic? I'm looking it up because her face looks recognizable.
I don't know because I've never seen the Titanic.
You've never seen the Titanic?
No.
Honestly, kind of boring. It's really long, but it's also really sad because you don't realize. Have you ever watched the YouTube video that says the Titanic sinking in real time? It is so sad.
No.
And you realize how crazy everything is. There's also kind of big. Yeah, it is Kate Winslet. I was right. There's so many bigger names in this. I didn't realize. Zoe Kravitz, the guy who was in West Side Story who's like a pedophile or something bad.
Wait,
Miles, Ansel Elgort. There was like something that was like released about him being a shitty person. I don't remember what it is. Theo James, Miles Tiller.
I never liked him in the movies.
I was so mad. I think it's in the second film where he's like, Tris, he basically was like, Tris is wrong. And Tris is like, what? I think it's literally in the second one because he moves to Erudite, which is like, I always mix up like three of them. Erudite is like the really smart one, right? He moves to that one. He's like, but you're wrong.
That's like the blue, like the suits and the professional.
I think, okay, wait. There's Dauntless, Candor, Amity, Erudite. What's the other
one? Dauntless, Candor,
Amity, Erudite.
Right.
I have to look it up. I just know that you and I are in the same faction. Let's go.
Divergent.
I know there's factionless, but that's not it.
I just looked up divergent houses.
Stop. What are the divergent houses?
Abnegation. That's literally what she came from, right?
Yeah, I was like, abnegation is the one she came from. Erudite is the one her brother went to, because her parents were in charge of abnegation. And then Amity is where they stayed, like they hid.
Yeah.
And then Candor's us.
Right.
And then there's Dauntless. And then there's factionless, but
yeah. But I think what turned me off from like the second and third movies, one, the third one sucked, but two, True. I did not like her haircut.
Yes, she should have just worn a wig for the whole film, but she's like, no. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I just didn't like the haircut.
Yeah, I feel like it looked good on her, but like it didn't fit Triss's character.
It did not fit her personality.
Yeah, I was like, Triss would not do this. You don't see in the book, she's like, she decided to cut her long locks into a pixie cut or whatever. I don't know. Unless they do say that in the books and I'm just stupid. But I wish she would have like kept her long hair for like the role of Triss.
Yeah. Oh, my voice.
Also, I think it's also I just hate Triss.
No, I hate Triss and I hate the girl from Maze Runner.
Oh, the girl from Maze Runner?
Teresa?
Oh, Teresa Agnes. I literally made a post about
I know. I hate her so much.
So glad when she died. Sorry for any spoilers if you haven't seen Maze Runner. There's a lot of deaths in the Maze Runner series. And I was so happy when that bitch died. She should have died in a worse way.
Yeah. And
for anyone who
never like
Thomas, you stupid motherfucker.
Like, come on, Dylan O'Brien. Come to me, not her.
Okay, for anyone who wonders how Teresa died, Teresa died by falling. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, Teresa. Oh, Teresa fell, like, she was supposed to, like, try and make it onto, like, a helicopter or something, or a plane, and she misses Thomas's hand, or lets go, or whatever, and she falls down into a burning building while the building is collapsing.
And, like, okay, oh my god. Spoiler alert for, like, the next 10 seconds. Close your ears if you do not want to get spoiled right now. Newt's death was the worst death in the entire series, in my opinion. I was so mad, heartbroken. Like, I think I messaged you crying.
I
was so bad.
Newt was my favorite character, and the fact that he died, I was crying silently. I'm not someone who cries very loudly. I like let the tears roll down. And I'm gonna feel so bad if my sister ever listens to this episode. But right, so I'm next to my mom, and the next to my mom is my sister. And all of a sudden, my mom, like, I'm crying, and I like see my mom's like visibly upset. And then we turn, and we just hear like full on sobbing. And my mom and I look forward, and we see my sister fucking sobbing in the theater. We're like,
oh, you saw it in theater?
Yeah, I saw the movie in theaters. Oh God, how long ago was that? The Death Cure. Also, we rewatched them not too long ago, and I like couldn't stand to like 2018. Yeah, because it actually got delayed because Dylan O'Brien got hurt, I think.
Yeah, he did.
It was like his ankle or something. Oh God, there's so many movies. I saw Frozen in theaters, and that came out in like 2014.
Can we talk about something? Literally in Frozen 1, I saw it when I was little Liv, right? And then Frozen 2 comes out, right? I see it, and then there's this one scene where Olaf is singing, and he's like, "You all look a little bit older," and I was like, like my heart could not handle it because I saw it when I was so young, and then Olaf was like, "Hey, I remember you," and I was like,
Frozen 2 is really good. Probably one of the best Disney films. My sister, I agreed with this, but my sister's like, I like whenever in the first one they're all happy-go-lucky or whatever, and then the second one touches on like darker themes, and I'm like, and it's all serious. Have you seen some of the deleted scenes for Frozen 2? I don't know why they scrapped them. They were such good ideas.
No, I haven't. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I was like, you gotta look it up. They like posted like the animation sequence, like what it was gonna like be. But what was I gonna say? Oh, whenever I saw the first Frozen, I had gotten my eyes dilated earlier that day. And so I saw the movie with my eyes dilated. I don't know. Okay, if you don't know you're getting your eyes dilated, so your pupils dilated, basically they put stuff in your eye. And I don't know, I don't remember what it's for, but and your pupils become really big. So like you have to wear like sunglasses like everywhere. And I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to see Frozen because I walked out with like a raging migraine. Oh, it also makes you like your vision like up close like really bad. So if I'm like trying to read a book, like I wouldn't be able to read it. So it was like really hard to like be on my phone because I think I had, oh God, I think I was like getting ready to get glasses. That's why. But that was a time.
But I definitely say out of all like the Disney movies, Frozen 2 was like one of the best second movies in a series. Like
Yes.
especially in like princess movies, the second one is not always good.
Yeah. Most of
And
the time it's
Frozen
not
2
good.
was like way up there. So
Yeah, Frozen 2 is probably one of my favorite Disney movies along with Tangled. Tangled. I remember seeing Tangled in theaters too. Oh God. That came out 12 years ago.
I'd say one of my favorites is Brave.
I've actually only seen Brave like once or twice. There's some
We're talking about movies, and this is supposed to be about books.
books. Okay, fine. We'll go back. So are there any books you like want to shift to other than like Harry Potter?
Yes.
Spill the tea.
Okay. I want to go to the Cruel Prince. I think that would be a magical experience.
Wow.
Maybe Throne of Glass, except that would be like really traumatic. Like I'm talking like mega traumatic.
Wait, what's going on? Is there like a war?
Oh yeah.
Why are there so many wars and stuff?
No, like this is like a big war. So like that would be really traumatic. Plus, like I could not physically put myself in Selena's shoes because that is her story. And like I could not intrude on that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I would love to like take the characters out and like put them in my own universe.
No war.
Like
You can do like an after thing, like after the war.
Yeah, but like I also it would break me to take, I don't want to spoil anything, but take one of the characters away from the other character.
Sucks to suck.
Even though
Don't.
with one of them. But okay, Throne of Glass and then Twilight. Even though I haven't read the books, but like Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
Obviously Harry Potter. I don't have a Grisha trilogy because there's also a war.
Always war.
Yeah, and I want to go to Six of Crows though, which takes place after the Grisha trilogy. What else?
Oh, well,
damn.
I would love to do that.
Oh my, I had like other books in mind. I have thoughts about making a Twilight DR, but I have to like rewatch all the movies.
The first one, maybe.
Maybe.
I know what happens.
I don't think there's any other books that could. Oh, I had thoughts about going to Scythe, but that's also kind of like a war, but not really. It's not really a war. I don't really know how to explain it. There's like a lot of crazy stuff that happens. But what?
Don't you want to go to Atlas 6?
No.
That
I like the chemistry of the group, and actually everyone is around my age. Everyone, I think the youngest person is 19, and everyone is like 19 and above. And yeah, I don't want to go to that because I think it's also kind of like, I feel like a war or a big fight is coming. So Yeah, I don't want to do that. I feel like I'm like forgetting one. Like I know.
You're really going to Harry Potter with a war.
Listen,
You're like, I don't want to be a part of the war. This is
goes to
Voldemort.
the MCU. Does like what am I
Exactly.
thinking? Well, I scripted no war for my Marauders because the first Wizarding War is literally like half of the Marauders dying. So I don't want that. I kept the war in because a lot of my DRs, I don't remember who this episode was about or who I was with, where I talked about you can like I think it was MJ, but like I go to a lot of places to experience the plot and like what it's like. That's why I don't change most things unless they're like I really, really want to change them.
Yeah.
Like people's deaths I take out and stuff like that. Not many. I don't think there's many deaths that I like changed, which is
Well, I took out the war, so
weren't you on the brink for a while of scripting it out?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. But I decided that I would rather just like relax and get to know these people rather than worry about them dying.
Well, like I had thoughts for a while about also making like a modern DR, but I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Well, I feel like technology would really drive me away from like getting to know these people the way I want to. Like I am so excited to be in a friend group without technology. It's like I feel like it's so much better.
Like I feel like the Harry Potter characters and like Marauders would be fun with like technology and stuff, but like the 90s already has technology. It's just that wizards don't really use technology. So
Well, actually, I scripted that like just the Wizarding World doesn't use like stuff like that because I think it would be better that way. I'd rather like write letters. I think that would be so fun.
Yeah, because like the Marauders, like which takes place in the 70s, like for anyone or when they went to school in the 70s. And like that isn't really much technology.
Right.
Like even if you like lived in like even if you were like Muggle born, does anyone make themselves Muggle born in their DR? Most people make themselves pureblood.
I mean, if they want to live like that Dramini type, like
Stop.
they might.
Wait, are you a pureblood in yours?
No, I'm a half-blood.
I'm a pureblood in my golden trio, but I'm a half-blood in my Marauders.
Because pureblood kind of like freaks me out. Like, I don't know. Something about it kind of creeps me out.
Well, like I didn't script anything about my family being in like the only family that could be in it is my dad's side of the family based on like what the history is. So yeah, I just kept it.
I only have my mom, my dad, and my brother. Like I scripted that like that everyone else is not involved in the Wizarding World.
Oh, do you have an English accent in DR or do you have an American one?
I have an American accent.
Boo.
Okay, I'm a transfer student. What do you expect?
Oh yeah. I hated the idea of being a transfer student.
Okay, but like I wanted to be special.
Like I know most people do, but I didn't like that for myself. So I was like, that's stupid. So like
I didn't like the idea of not being able to like tell the truth to these people.
What do you mean tell the truth?
I mean, the truth. I mean like my truth. Like it sounds so wrong, but like
I'm lying.
But like I wanted to be from here so I can like tell them about my experiences and feel heard. And like, you know?
Do I know what I have to say about that? That's all I want when Christmas comes.
Shut up.
Anyway, yeah, I like immediately from the get-go I gave myself an English accent, even though it'd make more yeah, I know some people give themselves Irish or like Scottish or where like wherever they live.
I should get my Irish accent.
That'd be fun. I can't do a Scottish accent. Actually, there was one time where I was like quoting like this scene where they're looking for like the diadem, and I did like Cho's line with like a perfect Scottish accent. I was like,
try it.
I can't do it now, bro.
Try it. You can
no,
try it.
No. Yeah, it took me forever to get an English accent. I took a lot of watching Harry Potter and listening to Six the Musical. If you need how to make yourself English, just like talk to
How
yourself
to make yourself English.
and and, and listen to Six the Musical. Six the Musical was like really helped me because they like talk sing. So like they're not really like singing hard, but you can like they are very British.
Yeah, I don't have a good one, but like I slip into it all the time. It's
Yeah,
just fun.
sometimes I slip into accents and I don't mean to.
Same. And mom's like, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "No."
It's Tuesday, ain't it?
Oh my god.
It's Peter Parker.
No, but like I don't even. They're gonna look at me and they're gonna be like, "Why do you talk like that?" They're gonna think I'm so stupid.
Because like, no, they're not. They know that you're a transfer student.
No, because like the Midwest accent is so flat.
I feel like it's normal.
Okay, it's normal because
Hey guys, do we sound normal? Tell us in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe.
no, like America as a whole accent is like very flat.
Well, like I also feel like most foreigners don't realize how different like all the states are. Like we speak different slang, we have different accents depending on the regions that you go. We have different restaurants and other stuff like that. It's very much like each state is a different country.
Well, they're big enough to be a different country.
I know. I don't think well like okay, the fact that like a lot of Europeans won't drive more than like think the half an hour is a long time, and Americans like, we'll just drive there, and it's like a 20-hour drive.
Literally me to Florida. I was like, oh yeah, 19 hours. Not bad.
That's not bad. But like most states take like 5+ hours to drive through, depending on where you're starting and going.
Yeah, to get to where I went from where I'm from, it took like 6 hours.
Yeah, I was like, it takes about 6 hours to drive through it. It's a tall old state. That's all I just kidding. Christmas comes. Us being suspicious.
Little, like...
Friends. Anyway, yeah, no, because I used to go. I know it's really long because I used to go camping like towards the tippy top of
yeah.
And we like at one point we drove through like the upper peninsula of Michigan because we were like right up there, and it took like 5+ hours to go there. It's a really pretty camping area for anyone interested.
I don't like
I also don't like camping, but I know, Mom, you're gonna listen to this, and she's gonna be like, even though she knows I don't like camping, but we camp all the time.
Your mom listens to these?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, my mom listens to these.
On here.
What?
I've made sex jokes on here.
My mom's like, Olivia making sex jokes can't be her friend. You know, my mom listens to these. The last time I asked her what episode she was on, she was around like the first gag reel and like the first episode with Emily. Okay, if I had to guess, I would say she's on the episode with you and Athena. Is trying to shift for a long time a good thing.
That was a hard episode to make for me.
What was the question?
What was the question?
Yeah, that's what I think. But yeah, no, my mom listens to these. I don't like camping.
Hello,
but like I love hiking and like doing a lot of other stuff outside. I just hate camping, and my sister and my mom both love it. And I'm like, my sister doesn't listen to these.
Bugs.
Yeah. Like I don't want to stay in nature forever. I would camp if I like stayed in a cabin, but like I don't want to sleep in a tent.
A random cabin with a bunch of fictional characters. I think that sounds lovely.
Bachelorette DR.
Seriously though. I read this book and they actually were in a cabin in the middle of Sweden.
Wow, great story, Olivia.
Oh yeah.
That's all
It's called The Three Swedish Mountain Men. I started Throne of Glass January 2nd, and then I finished the 8th book on March 8th.
Wow.
Oh, I know.
The Harry Potter series, I don't know if I talked about it on here. It took me a while to read it all. I think I did talk about it, but it took me several months to read it. Because it's starting from like Goblet of Fire on, all of them are so like all the books are really thick. Prisoner of Azkaban is the best book, if anyone wonders.
Definitely wondered.
Thank you guys for asking my opinion. Yeah, my favorite books out of the Harry Potter series were Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, and Order of the Phoenix. So the middle ones.
Well, if anyone's wondering, my favorite Throne of Glass books, I liked Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storms. The middle ones.
All right, we're just gonna keep naming trilogies and tell us our favorite book. My favorite book from Arc of a Scythe was the last one. It's called The Toll.
My favorite book from The Cruel Prince is the first one.
I'm excited to read that series.
The last one. Except there's missing information. Literally, only some books got these
like extra lines,
extra pages that are crucial to the story. I had to look them up to read them to figure it out. There's letters, okay? There's letters that we never got to read, and only some books they were included in, and mine was not one. And they were crucial to the story.
Okay, why would they do that? It's like adding a DLC to a game. Like what? My favorite Grisha first book, Grisha trilogy, was the first one, where it's just Shadow and Bone. The second one, most people agree that the second one is the worst one, but then you get Nikolai. My favorite. Oh no, continue. Sorry.
My favorite from Blood and Ash book was probably either A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire or A Crown of Gilded Bones. And I know a lot of people do not like the Crown of Gilded Bones, but I actually found it really enjoyable.
What?
And I've not yet read The War of Two Queens. I'm currently on my reread. So
yeah, there were supposed to be like 3 of us that read it together, and Olivia's the only one that's finished it and gotten through it. In the Kane Chronicles, my favorite book is probably the second one, which is Throne of Fire, because you're introduced to like newer characters. But there's a lot of good parts in the Serpent's Shadow. I think I like both of them. It's hard.
I'm looking at my bookshelf to see if there's any like books I can say my favorite of. There's this series called the something. It's called something Chronicles. There's 3. The third one, holy shit, is not released yet. But the first one is called The Princess of Dorsa.
The Spiderwick Chronicles. Just kidding. No.
The second one is The Soldier of Dorsa. And that's like really gay. And I prefer the first one over the second one. Just letting you know. That's all I can think of.
I don't remember much from the Gamma Doyle trilogy, which book was my favorite. I don't remember much of Percy Jackson either. So like once I reread them, I will I'll come on an episode and just name my favorite books and then end it.
Sounds good.
Can't wait. Okay. Are we okay to wrap it up or whatever?
I don't know, can we?
Okay.
Scene.
Cut. End of podcast. Roll the credits. I wish I had like those credits. Wait, but most of it would be like me in the credits, because I do. I do, except for like cast, it would be me and then like whoever's on it, and everything else would be me.
No, it's like, okay, cast, Rain and Olivia, edited by Rain, produced by Rain, written by Rain,
directed by Rain. It would be, everything is me except for whoever I bring on. Well, like, host, unless Rain. No, yeah, host, Rain, cast, and then it just keeps going. But no, because the only thing that wouldn't be me is sometimes like so if anyone who's curious, whenever I ask people to be on the podcast who's never been on it before, I ask if they have anything they want to talk about. And which is common in a lot of the first few episodes. And so for example, Sydney, the first Sydney that was on Apple Shifting, desperately wanted to talk about scripting. So I would like, if I did do that, I would put Sydney's name under like written by, because both of us did it, because they want to talk about it, and I like, anyway.
Oh, that's so not important. I would get credit for this episode.
Yeah, you would. I should have used you as an example instead, but yeah, because this having a book episode was Olivia's idea. But yeah, you would have gotten credit. Get that shmoney that I don't get from this podcast. Seriously. I should start putting ads and making money. I think that would make even less people listen to this. Oh my god. There we go. I was like, I'm dying. I don't know. I couldn't breathe for a second. I was like, hello.
Take over the podcast. Whatever will I do?
Hi, welcome to the production No, it's no, hello. No, or hello. This is the projection project with Olivia, and I took over for Rain.
Just recently she died. So I'm taking over for them.
I'd have to give you all the account info for this.
Your deathbed, just like you're dead in the grave.
And I'm like, here you go. Here's the info. Here's what I do. You'd also have to edit everything.
Take the mic.
And also have to figure out how Anchor works, which it's not that hard. Oh god, I just dropped my pen.
I just published the whole thing. No edit. Just
publish all my drafts.
You just talking shit.
Yeah, no, whenever I die, the person who sees my TikTok just posts all my drafts. Oh my god. Man, I was gonna say
so that's it. Thank you for coming. Have a nice one.
Goodbye. Yeah, no. I realized though, if you were to post it without editing, sometimes like I have to cut stuff out. Like family members walking in or dogs barking or like having to get up for something important. So then I would just leave like a person sitting there. Like the episode in the bloopers where you and Athena were just talking while I was gone. You're like not Athena was like, not the dogs barking, and then you guys were talking about that guy who found out he was abusing dogs or whatever.
Oh my god.
I come back and I'm like, what?
You're like, do I need to call 911?
Chris, is that a weed? I'm calling the police. Hello, this is 911 or whatever the hell.
So thank you all for coming back to this wonderful podcast that you so graciously decided to click on. And with your wonderful host, Rain. I hope you enjoyed my presence. I will never be back. I absolutely hate this host. So
she sucks. Wait, I can send the picture of the hurricane again.
I hired her.
Anyway, here's been this fun episode with Olivia. Olivia already closed out, so bye. Peace.
Bye.
I'll leave. Peace out.